hands to insist and promote human rights of all Nigerians, and even those those people that are living in Nigeria that are not Nigerian. Because we in Amnesty International, our work does not discriminate on the basis of gender, ethnicity, religion, or political affiliation. But more importantly, as a global organization, we are not affiliated to any ethnic, religious, or geographical, or even political, affiliation. We are purely a human rights organization that is interested in justice for our people. So, I want to once again welcome you to this very important launch of this report. As you are aware, Amnesty International is a movement of over 10 million people in Nigeria. It's not just an organization, it is a movement of people that's galvanized on the basis of common shared value, which is protecting and respecting the lives of everyone, no matter wherever you are, even if you are in Gaza or you are in Kenya, wherever you are. Once there's a aberration, there's a human rights violation, you will hear Amnesty International speaking on that, irrespective of color. Our vision is for every person and to enjoy the rights that God has given to every person in this world, irrespective of their status. Our work is always to ensure that lives are protected everywhere in the world, and the responsibility for protecting lives must be taken seriously. We must all ensure that lives are protected at all times and everywhere. Sadly, in Nigeria, it appears that life has no value. It's only in Nigeria that you hear 200 people die, thousands of people die, instead of the authority to take proactive measures to ensure that the occurrence of such kind of heinous atrocities do not happen. They politicize it. They start naming calls. They start calling names. This is not healthy, and this is not good, especially as we even have a National Human Rights Commission that, surprisingly, was even established during the military regime. So we cannot afford to be losing human lives and then we move on just like that. And instead of you to do something to prevent it from happening and also hold the perpetrators to account, you are politicizing it. You are blackmailing people. You are demarketing the work that organizations like human rights organizations, Amnesty International are doing. This is not really good for our country. We need to do everything possible, because today, if you are in power and you oversee the perpetration of this impunity, you may not know what will happen to you tomorrow when you leave office. We have seen so many of the political actors, once they are in power, they will not take necessary action to protect the citizens. And when they leave power, they equally become vulnerable. So which means that we should all unite against human rights abuses in this country. Now, not only human rights abuses that we are talking about, we are also talking about environmental abuses. A situation whereby our environment is polluted, people can no longer have a clean water, people can no longer even have breeze, is all serious concern to Amnesty International. We also very much concerned about those other basic rights like housing rights. Now people are beginning to forget that even having a house is a right, and many Nigerians have been deprived from having access to that, including access to healthcare system, access to education. These are all fundamental rights that citizens should actually enjoy. But in our country, it appears that all those basic rights are not important, or they are not necessary. So therefore, Amnesty International has been documenting issues in the Southeast since the violent crackdown on pro-Biafra activists started in 2015. Nigerian government, and the non-state actors in the Southeast, they have all joined hands in violating fundamental rights of the people living in the Southeast. You will see, both the state actors and the non-state actors, their attitude is simply not even different. A situation whereby, even security personnel will be killed, a situation whereby ordinary person will simply be killed, attacked without any reason, and nothing, will happen, is a serious concern. So you see that both the state and non-state actors in the Southeast, they almost behave the same way. The only difference is that the state has the responsibility to stop that. They have the legitimate power to ensure that they did not allow that escalation of violence on the fellow citizens to happen. So, because it appears to be impunity is the main thing that is going on, and some people benefit from this violence. So you see ordinary people, have been, deprived from enjoying their rights. They cannot move freely, even in a certain days, simply because some people decided to say you cannot move. The security, some of them, they do arbitrary arrest. They detain people without investigating and finding out the real truth about what's the allegation of the offense that has been committed. So you are branded. Once they perceive you in a particular way, they say you are so person, you are Biafra. So the next thing is, if you are not lucky, they terminate your life, or they just detain you, or they maltreat you, they brutalize you. So we cannot continue in this way. So Amnesty International cannot continue to waste and be watching Nigerian life wasted just like that, and then depriving citizens from right to movement, freedom of expression, all in the name of you must follow a particular pattern of ideology or principle that some people have imposed themselves to, force other people to follow. Amnesty International will encourage everyone to read this very important report that we have gathered, through our well-researched, documented, evidence-based facts that we have gathered, showing the various violations that have been happening in the Southeast. Like I said, both the state and non-state actors, they have all found themselves, involved in these atrocities that is almost, making life difficult for the people living in the Southeast. It affects the economy. The economic activities in the region is severely attacked, and with the misery of socio-economic, and political poverty that we have in this country, you could see how this has also exacerbated poverty in the Southeast. It has also exacerbated discomfort, and completely, people are not able to express themselves because of fear that they may be attacked or they may be arrested by the state actors. Ladies and gentlemen, Amnesty International, despite the blackmail by those who enjoy killing people, those who enjoy depriving Nigerians, those who enjoy depriving, brutalizing, and detaining Nigerians, will continue to speak the truth. We have committed ourselves that no matter what, we must say the truth and call on the government to do the needful. We will continue to encourage Nigerians to speak out and also report cases of violation, because if you don't report, it will be difficult for Amnesty International to be everywhere and to be, at the same time watching and monitoring abuses. So we encourage Nigerians to speak out whenever they see, human rights abuses, or at least document it in a very proper, based on evidence that you have witnessed, so that we can all collectively join together to demand for government to take action. Government has a huge responsibility to ensure that all of us are safe, protected, and no one should take law into his hand or hands. Government must ensure that they educate people. We encourage the National Human Rights Commission to continue with the human rights education across the country. It is part of their mandate. And even if the security agencies, they think that they have responsibility to do certain things, they should also do it based on the law that we have. And that, you cannot simply be carrying, law into your hands because you are a law enforcement officer. Everything you must do, it has to be based on the law that, governs the work that we are doing. Otherwise, impunity will continue, abuses will continue, and citizens' rights will continue to be deprived. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to once again thank you for coming to this launch. It is a launch that we feel and we believe strongly that will help to at least show how important it is for the government to take the necessary action by protecting and promoting the rights of Nigerians. Nigerians have suffered enough losses in this country, and they are suffering, on it. Every day you open radio, you open television, you open newspaper, you go to community, is killing. We cannot make progress with this. Democracy is not a license for killing. We just have to win at all costs. This is not what, people who fought for democracy in this country have fought for. So therefore, I encourage Nigerians to be more peaceful, law-abiding, and ensure that they did not, violate the right of their fellow citizens. And for the government, we encourage the government to also lead by example by following the due process, by ensuring that they did not abuse the law of the land. The report is a well-detailed report. I urge you to read this report and draw the attention of the authority to take proactive measures towards protecting and promoting the rights of Nigerians. Once again, I thank you for coming.
Authorities have failed again and again to protect lives in that region. We want to call on the Nigerian government to stop turning blind eye to the unlawful killings and arbitrary arrests. They should not be normal. These things have been going on for almost 10 years or over 10 years, and we believe that bloodshed should not become normal in our country. They should decisively, effectively, and lawfully address this problem. Authorities must live up to their constitutional responsibilities. We believe that the responsibility of the government is not just about giving contracts or carrying convoys around. We believe that the responsibility of the government, the most important as far as our constitution and international law is concerned, is for the government to protect lives. And if the government cannot do that, we believe that it has failed and it has woefully failed. Part of our findings show that gunmen killed over 400 people in Imo State between January 2019 and December 2021. So these killers often emerge from their camps. They don't even mask their faces as they do in the past, and carry out attacks on residents. They attack police stations, they attack offices of vigilante, and their raids have triggered reprisal attacks resulting in death and injury for thousands of residents. Nigerian authorities, the only thing they do, as far as we are concerned and as far as our investigation is concerned, is that they always blame pro-Biafra organization, that is IPOB, and its militant arm, the Eastern Security Network, ESN, for most of these deadly attacks. IPOB continues and ESN continue to deny these things, and they continue to distance themselves from so-called unknown gunmen and their various camps where they emerge and kill people and go back. However, we had a situation in August, particularly 2021, whereby IPOB and ESN declared a sit-at-home, which opened the way for violations of human rights, including having people being beaten or killed for defying that order. Markets have been frequently closed down on Mondays unlawfully, and this has resulted in harsh economic consequences for communities across Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Imo, and Enugu states. Insecurity in the southeast Nigeria has affected people's lives, including the right to life, physical integrity, security, liberty, freedom of movement. Many people, in fact, are even boycotting their ancestral homes. We know people from the southeast always go back home for weddings or for Christmas. Unfortunately, people have to either stay in Lagos, bring their families, and hold their ceremonies. This is really a serious matter, and it has to be addressed. This should not be the normal. We also found that government have turned some communities into ungoverned spaces by sacking traditional rulers, displacing residents, and taking control of communities, including Agwa and Izombe in Ogwata local government area of Imo State, and Lilu in Ihiala local government of Anambra State. So our report documented all these things with one sole aim, and the aim is for the government to do the right thing. We also investigated incidents whereby the paramilitary force formed by some of the southeast governors, that is Ebube Agu, it was formed on 11 April 2021. It has become a tool of harassment, intimidation, and other human rights violations. We also, since 2016, have been documenting the fact that during military operations in the southeast, Nigerian security agencies, including the military and police, committed unlawful killings, arbitrary arrest and detention, torture, enforced disappearance, and destruction of property. We have many families who could not trace their loved ones. We had many incidents of extrajudicial execution and other atrocities that must be investigated by the Nigerian government. No one knows exactly the number of people killed in the southeast since August 2015. Many people have been declared missing or forcibly disappeared. The number of high-profile killings and the consistent fear of possible attacks anywhere, anytime show how badly the authorities are failing to protect life and property and to ensure law and order. Impunity for these human rights crimes continue to have chilling effect on the enjoyment of human rights in this region. Our main call is for the Nigerian authorities to uphold their constitutional and international human rights obligations, physical integrity and liberty, security and safety of the people, and they have to stop the madness going on in the southeast. It has to stop. It should not be normal. Authorities must also undertake, and this is our usual call. Unfortunately, the authorities have consistently failed to do the right thing, which is simply investigate these incidents and make sure that all those suspected to have committed human rights violations are brought to justice through fair trials without recourse to the death penalty. I hope everyone will take time to read this report and let us engage. Our aim, as I have said at the beginning, is for the human rights violations to stop. And if they stop, and when they are stopped, all those who perpetrated all the human rights violations we have enumerated and listed and investigated in our report, we hope and we feel that the authorities have the responsibility to ensure that these people are brought to justice. Thank you very much.